perfect way. You no longer exist, you're no longer in my
Welcome to AfterMat, your source for WWE pay-per-view recaps. I'm your host, the People's Champ Cal, and alongside me, as always, I have my tag team partner, the Glamazon Delisha. What's going on, Delisha?
Hello. I thought Rose would stay down for more than an hour, but she decided AfterMat started, so she's gonna wake up.
She just woke up now?
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, we're at, like, the few seconds that we were just talking prior to that, she wasn't awake, and now... Wow, okay.
She must have heard your voice through.
So I gotta get on the show. I gotta get on the show again.
No, I have my 11-year-old cousins here, and they're trying to console her.
Okay.
So,
And welcome, Entertained. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. So I figured out that what happens, like, for some reason when Delicia's camera goes gray, I just know to minimize it and maximize it, so you'll see my background for a second, but that gets her back on the screen. So welcome, Entertained, as well. Tonight we're going to be discussing Money in the Bank, right? 2022. It was quite the pay-per-view, in my opinion. It was in Vegas, which I wasn't aware of until after I saw them, at the UFC fight immediately afterwards. I was like, oh wow, like they're actually at the UFC fight, which is kind of crazy, but whatever, that's cool. I didn't really know much about the background that was going on either about any of the stuff, but as we usually talk about it, like, what'd you think about the what do you call it, the
premium live event?
Yes, the premium live event, without giving away any, how you felt about it. What'd you think?
Yeah, I thought the show was, pretty good. I didn't really have high expectations. Once again, coming into the premium live event, outside of just the Money in the Bank, just seeing like who would win. Oh dear. And surprisingly, I don't know, this might somewhat spoiler, but not a spoiler. It was not a Money in the Bank match that stole the night for me. Is that a bad thing on a Money in the Bank pay-per-view?
No, I felt like this year was a little bit different from most other years when it comes to Money in the Bank pay-per-view. I saw a lot more role reversal this year than any other year, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But yeah, I figured there was going to be another match that stole the show, and from what I've been like garnering some affection for a certain tag team, along with another tag team that we have already established as a multiple-time AfterMat award winner. But yeah, other than that, like, it was great. And then I don't know, I didn't really know much. I remember texting you, like, when how we divvy up the matches. I'm like, I really don't care for any match. Like, I don't have any like Edge. I don't really have an AJ Styles. I don't have like a Rock. I don't have a Brock. I don't have anybody going in, like the Miz. No one. I really had no one going into this pay per view except for Alexa Bliss maybe. But that's even faltering with her character and stuff. I really didn't have anyone going into this. Maybe Liv Morgan possibly for the hometown girl. But it was just not really that interesting for me, but well, we'll see how it turned out for us. The first match of the evening was the women's Money in the Bank ladder match featuring Becky Lynch, Alexa Bliss, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez is her name now, or is it Gonzalez? It used to be Gonzalez, right? Now it's Raquel Rodriguez. Lacey Evans, Asuka, and Shotzi Blackheart. So 7 women. Normally it's usually 8, 4 from each brand, but we had 7 this time around. And it was quite the match. I know. Like I think you were behind because you were waiting for Joe to get home, so you were a little bit behind in the evening. But I did mention saying like, oh, I can't believe they're letting for so long we've been saying why aren't they gonna let the women go? Why aren't they gonna let the women go? Why aren't they letting them take risks? And they did. There were some botches which unfortunately led to some other stuff that happened afterwards. Unfortunately, because people are trolls and stuff like that, they can't let things be. I for one, I'm always calling out botches, whether it be the women or the men. I'm usually calling out botches, but I don't go to the point where I attack somebody online because they're doing stuff that we can't do, or at least I can't do. So you got to respect the fact that they're doing difficult stuff in front of a lot of people in live format. That is their job, but accidents happen no matter what you do, and it's unfortunate it gets certain levels of things. But it was a great match. And I was glad to see that they let the women go. Like from seeing a Becky, we're not gonna go over the entire matches. There's a lot that went on, but I'm gonna go through some highlights of the great use of the ladder. Raquel kind of didn't. They're supposed to do like a lift up of the ladder, kind of like a what do you call it? Like a I don't know what you call those things, like tricep dips, but the opposite way, pulling it up on triceps. But didn't really work out too well. She also used it as like a battering ram. Everyone pretty much uses a battering ram. They had Shotzi try to run up. She kind of botched that. I think we had some other cool moments with people jumping off the top of the ladder. We had Becky Lynch jump off the top onto Asuka on the ladder on the outside with a leg drop. That was pretty cool. But they used the ladders right away. Asuka and Becky were left in the middle of the ring in the beginning. The two rivals going at it. I think the first person to touch it was Shotzi. She's the first person to touch it, but Lacey Evans threw her out. Lacey Evans, she didn't really get a spotlight in the match, I don't think. From what I remember, I don't remember really seeing Lacey getting any a moment in the sun, so to speak, in the match. But then once Lacey knocked Shotzi off, Lacey went for the belt, the one for the briefcase. Liv Morgan knocked her off. I think there was a cool sunset flip power bomb off the ladder that onto Lacey, which because Raquel was holding Lacey. I don't know. It was pretty cool. Bex then went up for the thing. Asuka pulled her off, and they fought amongst each other. They went to the outside. That's when Asuka was put across the ladder that was laid across the ring, the announcer table. Becky grabbed another big ladder, jumped off it, leg dropped it, as what I mentioned earlier. The ladder didn't break, but the WWE Universe loved it because this was like letting the women go for once. They never really got to go like showcase themselves in this case. Then at the end, I think Lynch went in and knocked people off the ladder, which allowed her to go up the big ladder by herself. Then Liv Morgan came into the ring and was able to go up the small ladder, knock Becky off the big ladder, by tipping it over. Then Liz got up back up. No, I think wait. Becky knocked Liv's ladder over. Liv, as she's tipping over, she put her foot on the rope, bounced back, knocked Becky's over. Then that allowed Liv to climb up to the top and grab the Money in the Bank, and now she is your new Miss Money in the Bank for this year. She was interviewed afterwards, and she said, "I just want to enjoy the moment." You could really see the genuine joy on her face and how much she loved it and how much she appreciated it. The fans were behind it because seeing all her struggle through the Royal Rumble, prior to Royal Rumble, fighting Becky several times, just coming up short so many times. She finally got to the point where she is now Miss Money in the Bank, so she can get a title shot anytime she wants from now until 1 year from today, that day. So after being interviewed, she was saying she just wants to enjoy the moment. She's looking forward to a WrestleMania cash-in. Once she said that, I know Delisha was an hour or maybe a half an hour behind me. I didn't want to spoil anything for her, but I said I have a bad feeling there might be a Money in the Bank cash-in later tonight. Once she said that, I had a feeling she might cash in. Will it come true? I don't know. We'll see. Delisha, your thoughts about the Money in the Bank ladder match for the women? Unless she stepped away.
I was trying to turn my video on, but I was pressing share screen.
Oh.
And yeah, Rose didn't want to be not on camera. Here she is. Yeah, I actually really enjoyed this match. Yeah, like I said, when you were texting me that they really let the women go, I was literally about to text you. Man, they really let the women go in this match, and I was so happy for it. I mean, in a high stakes match like this, there's going to be mistakes, there's going to be botches whatsoever, but honestly, they're kind of very forgivable. Honestly, as it really wasn't like, oh man, that was a really bad spot type of deal. I was a little bit scared for Becky, actually, a little bit. Well, not more than Shotzi, because Shotzi actually started bleeding, but because Becky kind of overshot Asuka a little bit. So I think she might have came down harder than on it to Asuka than um they would have liked, but they seemed fine, especially given last night where they had a no holds barred match. So they even went as extreme, if not more extreme, in their match last night. So they seem to be fine. But I really did enjoy the match. Liv winning was a surprise for me. I was not really expecting that. I thought maybe possibly maybe an Alexa or I did think they could have, depending on what they did with Becky, they could have had this still be her downfall or the start to be her comeback of the being triumphant. As a way, to get to either Bianca or Ronda, just because you can go for any of the titles. So I could have seen him or having Oscar win again despite of Becky at the spite of Becky. So there was really a couple good angles they could have went with, and Liv winning was not the one. I'm not sure a lot of people had them on their bingo card, especially if you're like me, where you're not really the biggest Liv Morgan fan. Like I get her appeal, but for me, she's kind of like her matches don't really wow me all that much, so to speak. I might be in the minority, probably giving the pop she gets, but I do understand they're finally kind of like really pulling the trigger of getting behind her. It took them a few months, I guess, to pull the trigger on her getting something like important to do. So, but anyway, I really did enjoy the match, and it really left me curious on who she would cash in depending on how the matches went later on, because I didn't know if we would still have babyface champions or if we would have heel champions. So I had to wait and see how those things played out to even start to formulate what would happen with Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I think also like Alexa really didn't get any spotlight. I think she had one spot off the top where she jumped up to all the women. That's about it. Raquel didn't really get, like, she used her power at the beginning. That's about it. She didn't really get any spotlight. Neither did Lacey Evans. Shotzi got a lot of spotlight, which she had some crazy moves throughout the night, and she did a great.
Someone really likes her.
Yeah, and like she's like, I always wanted to go hardcore, and she got to go hardcore, and it was great. Unfortunately, she had a few botches with one with Alexa, one with the climb up the ladder, and Twitter really like chewed her out on it, which ultimately caused her to deactivate her Twitter, which is unfortunate. But like I said, I'm always one of the first to call out botches. But listen, man, when it comes to this kind of match, I can understand. Like there's always, like I always say, when you add more than two people in a match, more than three even, there's going to be a lot of chance for it's going to increase the chance of a botch, right? And then it would add ladders and all this chaos. That's going to increase the chance of a botch, especially when you're trying to do some high risk maneuvers. That's what they're called, high risk maneuvers, because things can go wrong, and they did. But listen, like I said, don't chew them out. Like I'll call it out. I will always call it out if I see it. But like you got to respect the effort they're putting in and all that. So it's unfortunate that the trolls went after her and caused her to shut down her Twitter, but she'll be back, and she really showed off a great side of her at this pay-per-view as well.
Yeah, I think out since they turned her heel, although we still don't understand why. This is probably the best they have used her outside of when they teamed her with Tegan Knox before they released her.
Right.
Um, so yeah, I think this might have been Shotzi's best showcase thus far on the Blue brand. So I'm hoping that they kind of really get encouraged and start using her a little bit more. We really need to like build up that SmackDown's roster. Raquel, she's not quite there yet. I mean, she is a former NXT champion, but with her being like this really big smiling baby face, it's not really connecting with people because she doesn't really have a character, so to speak. So I think she might still be a couple months to a year out of really getting that momentum behind her of championship contention. And I don't know what they're doing with Alexa. Like honestly, they brought her back and she's done nothing. Honestly, and that is really sad.
And honestly, I wouldn't look forward to Raquel that much yet, because look, we've been saying that for Shayna when Shayna first came up too. Oh, she's probably like a year out. Well, then she'll get it. But other than that Elimination Chamber when she eliminated everyone by herself single-handedly, she hasn't done anything. So.
That and they missed the ball. That was the moment.
Yeah.
That was the moment. I honestly, I because of all that, I keep forgetting about Shayna until she's on screen.
Well,
which is great.
Keep in mind, this is when my first premonition came to you, where I said I have a bad feeling that the Money in the Bank winner might cash in. The women's Money in the Bank might cash in later. against two strong champions at the moment. So I didn't have the biggest hopes for the winner, Liv Morgan, but we'll see what happens. The next match was for the United States Championship, featuring the United States Champion Austin. Well, it's just Theory now. I hate using these new names, but Austin Theory and Bobby Lashley. I forgot his nickname. The Almighty Bobby Lashley. And was he Almighty? Yes, he was. As he dominated at the beginning of the match using his strength and power, until Theory was able to take on some of that onslaught and use his quickness and agility by jumping up in and out of the ring, using some maneuvers to using his wily antics. But unfortunately for him, he was caught sort of caught as he was jumped out to the outside onto Lashley. Lashley kind of fell down with it, but was able to get up front while holding him in the fireman's carry, kind of, and slamming Austin Theory against the turnbuckle. Eventually, Austin Theory was able to get a headlock on Bobby Lashley, but then Lashley was able to power out of it, as he always does, with a huge power slam. I think as Lashley went for a spear, Theory just played dead, like a possum, and you can't really hit someone who's on the ground with a spear, right? So I think at that point, Lashley went for a hurt lock, and that's about it. That was it. And then Theory lost, and it was not that much of a consequence. I mean, not much of a. It was a consequential match, as we'll tell in a little bit, but it wasn't really much of a match other than getting dominated. Theory getting dominated by Lashley's strength, which you expect. But with Theory being McMahon's guy, I'm like, this can't be it. And that's when I made my second premonition and texted Dilly saying, I have a bad feeling that someone's going to be added to the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. I didn't want to ruin it for her because once Austin Theory lost his championship, I'm like, he's probably going to be added to the match at the end of the night, because I figured the other men, the Money in the Bank match would be at the end. And we'll talk about if that happened or not towards the end of the night. But, Delisha, your thoughts on this match?
Yeah, I was talking when as soon as the match started. I said the only way Theory should win is if by some like shenanigans. I was like, if not, then legit the way they've been building Bob Lashley, it would make sense that he should win. And since they did win over clean, he won. And I've always been a little bit hesitant about Bobby Lashley without MVP, but he's been doing pretty good as on his own as a face. The fans are really behind him, and it looks like we might not even be done with these two, with probably some sort of rematch coming down the line, or with Austin or Theory or whatever, teasing that he might just go after Lashley. Anyway, although he did call his, although yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether sometimes you kind of know where WWE's going, and then sometimes you're like, what the heck? But I don't know. I don't think these two are done. Um, Austin loves gold, so he's gonna want his title back probably. And then Lashley is just gonna continue to be on. He's gonna continue on that babyface fighting champion run that they always do, and we have to just see who, if it's not gonna be Theory, who might be another contender for him. I can't think of anyone. Maybe Finn Balor as another heel from the go up against anytime soon. We do have SummerSlam coming up in a few weeks, which is one of their big money pay-per-views, so they probably want to put a big match for the title. So, and Finn right now might be the only like adversary, or maybe I guess Seth could be too, because you can put him anywhere and he'll make it work. But I feel like Finn might be a good adversary. But then again, they are feuding with Mysterio, so I don't know what they're doing anymore. So,
Yeah, I'd rather see a Damian Priest go for that championship, because I think he was a previous U.S. champion, and his power would go well against Lashley. If not them, though, like you said, they're feuding with the Mysterios, because I don't know. I fast forward through Raw, as you know. Another person, I don't know. As always, I don't know what brand they're on, but Kevin Owens might be another person you could throw in there as well. That would be a cool thing. Kevin Owens is the U.S. champion. I think he's worked hard and he deserves something. I feel Kevin Owens would, because it would be unfortunate if the only thing he gets during this, renewal of contract is that Austin match. Granted, it was good, but I feel like if that's the only thing he gets from this renewed contract, it's not going to be good for his future.
yeah, but if KO were to get it, I would want it to be somewhere like down the line. You don't want to make Lashley like a transitional champion. You want him to give it a little bit of weight, especially when you don't have Roman as your main title guy being on both brands consistently right now. This is the time to make those more mid card titles elevated.
I
I mean, we have Walter on SmackDown bringing a more gravitas to that, and now we have Lashley taking on whoever comes out on Raw. So you kind of want to, and also the Usos have been really great elevating those tag team titles to make them feel like important, like you want this. So I do think that is the offset, a positive of not having Roman be on both shows all the time is that you can elevate those other titles.
I'd
Like
see. I think KO would be better with the title. I think this would be good for Lashley to be the transitional champion because of the whole Austin Theory thing of him. I think he was the last decision to be put into the Money in the Bank match because of the whole Cody Rhodes thing. So I think this would be a perfect spot to use Lashley as a transitional champion and give it to someone like KO instead. Because I think obviously, well, you're saying you have an issue with not an issue, but like you don't really see the appeal of Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan has gotten a lot better in the ring from what I've seen her at. But her mic skills, after hearing her, because obviously when I see Alexa or Liv or somebody who I like on the mic on promos, I watch Raw. I'll stop fast forwarding it. And that's when I saw her promo wasn't very good. I didn't really enjoy her. It didn't really have that like when Natalia won or something like that, or when Naomi won, like that like feeling. Like, I know she felt it, but she didn't really convey it in her promo. So I can see the one thing about Liv is her mic skills need to improve.
Yeah,
In that
I didn't
sense,
want to come off as like I didn't like her. I just wouldn't put her in like
right?
my top 5 on the roster right now.
But in the sense of Bobby Lashley, I don't think he's great on the mic either. That's why they put him with a mouthpiece like MVP. So I think Kevin Owens would bring more to the U.S. Championship than Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley doesn't need a championship. He's just a dominant force. I'm not saying Kevin Owens is a championship either, but I think it would mean more for the belt if someone who could talk and wrestle holds the U.S. Championship. I think Kevin Owens would be great in the in the legacy of the U.S. Championship. He's more of an NWA type of guy anyway, an indie guy like that. So I feel like he would be more relevant to that championship than Bobby Lashley. So maybe at SummerSlam we'll see Lashley versus Kevin Owens, and Kevin Owens defeat Bobby Lashley. I think that would be the best move. So Vince or Stephanie, whoever's in charge now, if you hear this and watch this, you can always hire me for booking because I booked the Money in the Bank ladder match a lot better than you guys did, but we'll get to that later. The next match was for the Raw Women's Championship featuring the Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair against Carmella.
Yeah, so this one didn't get to have a lot of build up towards it because it was a last minute replacement due to an injury to Rhea Ripley, who we were originally going to get, which I was really excited about. Unfortunately, Bianca versus Carmella on paper at this point in time did not excite me, but I will say that Carmella did as really good as she gets. I think sometimes she gets underrated a lot by fans or other wrestling pundits, but she puts in solid work and no stranger to here. They did what these two do. Bianca's going to show the athleticism, her strength, and how she's very resilient. That no matter what you're going to get, whether it's a super kick to the face from Carmella, that she's going to continue to try to kick out and be the champion that she's been given the chance to be. Even with I guess Carmella even trying to do with I don't know if there's a name for her like submission where she like traps you in her legs or whatever. It's almost kind of like a triangle hold but in a different way.
Yeah, it's like an inverted triangle choke.
Yeah, I don't know if she has a name for that or not. But whether it was actually I think this match was actually pretty short, maybe about 8 minutes or so. But Bianca did retain, which was the right choice. And she got attacked by Carmella, which leads us to believe this feud is probably not over. So they might get a bigger chance, maybe at SummerSlam or just another like opportunity on Raw. And they did a little fake out where Bianca's like laying in the middle of the ring, thinking, "Oh, this is the opportunity for Liv to cash in," but nope. Carmella went to the back, and Bianca just got back up with a pissed off look on her face. And so this due to that, post-match beatdown, I don't think these two are done. She did team with Liv last night to take on Natty and Carmella. So maybe all of them are not out of the picture of title contention or anything like that. Uh, so yeah, I do think the match was fine for what it was. I guess this, I mean, it's not a lower tiered pay per view pre-line event, but because it's a gimmick live gimmick pay per view. I'm just gonna say pay per view because like pre live event just takes too long, and so they really didn't have to put a high focus on the women's championship this time around. So that's why I do believe we probably might see Carmella in the mix again. But we can't always forget that Becky is also still circulating trying to get that title back. So we honestly never know what's gonna happen. But maybe they do round 2 at SummerSlam. Is that something you'd be interested in seeing, or did this match do it for you, and that was or not, and that was enough of Bianca v Carmella, or maybe Rhea will be back in time for SummerSlam and to reclaim her number 1 contendership.
All right, to be honest, this match was one of those. Nothing's gonna happen because it was a replacement match, right? Like it was supposed to be Rhea versus Bianca, and I didn't really expect anything to happen, so I wasn't really looking forward to this match. I didn't think Bianca was gonna lose. She didn't lose. I think they had that little attack at the end just to hope, like to have hope for anything, to have a buffer, I guess, to have a backup plan in case Rhea's not able to make it to SummerSlam. They can continue this feud. Now, if you're asking, do I look forward to this feud continuing? No. But what I could see happening at SummerSlam is that same tag team match that happened on Raw last night could happen again at SummerSlam, and they could have the stipulation where whoever gets pinned loses their championship to whoever is pinning them. So both the Raw Women's Champion, so it would be Liv and Bianca tagging together, and against Carmella and Natalya, and maybe what they could do is whoever pins, like let's say Natalya pins Bianca, she wins the Raw Championship, right? And that's it. But that would cause a feud between like Carmella, who would get the pin. Like I want to get the pin, no, I want to be in the ring, I want to get there. So maybe they could be like, if Natalya pins Bianca, she wins the Raw, and then automatically Carmella gets the SmackDown Championship. So both women will lose their respective championships to whoever, whatever, to the opposite person of the. But what I can see is happening is, there being some dissension amongst Bianca and Liv, and them winning eventually. But that could start up like a little feud for Survivor Series, which is only a few months after this anyway, right? So that could like be a kind of hint to them fighting at Survivor Series. So that'd be kind of cool. But ultimately, Bianca and Liv should win at the next SummerSlam if they do this match that I suggested. I'm not really interested in seeing Natalya or Carmella. I want to see someone like Zelina come back. I want to see someone like Rhea fight instead. All those kind of people I'd rather see than Natalya and Carmella. All right, the next match was for the undisputed, or I don't know what they call them nowadays, the Raw and SmackDown Tag Team Championship titles, featuring the Raw and SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos, against the Street Profits.
Yep, you were right. It is the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. This might have been outside of the Money in the Bank match. Probably was gonna be my most anticipated, mainly because these two have really great chemistry. So I knew that we were gonna get like a really good match, if not a great match. Honestly, almost like the New Day, anyone that Usos could put to the storyline, what they really like shine and almost kind of outshine some of the matches going on around them, and this was no different. They really did build up Montez Ford here. I mean, they've been doing it for the last couple of months, but as him being kind of like the A guy for the Street Profits, because they tried to tag team mathematics, so to speak, of keeping Dawkins away from Ford so he cannot get the hot tag. Although Dawkins is not a one to be trifled with either, on account of he has some really great moves as well as doing it's not really you really wouldn't call it I guess he has a senton flip.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that. I didn't expect Dawkins to do that, but he did it, right? Like that's cool because we're talking about Montez Ford's athleticism,
Yeah, they are both really athletic. I think Dawkins played football in college or whatever. And then he's doing like 360 insecurity kicks. And then he also has like this like tornado spinning forearm that he does in the corner onto the Usos. And I don't really know what this move is called, but once Tez did get the hot tag, and of course he's not going to be outdone with doing certain times over the top rope. He does, which now is a signature of his now, running over not the top rope but over the turnbuckle in the corner onto the Usos. That's kind of like his signature, a signature move of his nowadays. If you were there at Takeover the first time we did that, it was awesome. Anyway, I don't know what you call this move, but Angelo would do like, I think it was like not power bomb. Excuse me. Hey, what do you call it when they throw the guy over the back of their head? I don't know why it
A back body drop?
Oh, thanks. Suplex.
Oh, suplex. Oh, okay. I thought you meant like a back body drop.
Like, into Tez doing what did he do? It was like another kick to the head or something like that, or like threw. I never know which one it is. One of the twins into Tez, and literally thought this was it. Literally thought this was the 1, 2, 3, and no, they somehow kick out of that one, and that would be like the theme of this match is so many 2 counts, 2.99 counts from on both sides. So they really made us feel like you do not know who's going to win. One of the twins, because again I don't know which one, would get a 3 count pin after a super kick, and that was it. Although you could see some fans on the other side of the hard cam going like, WTF, like what? And then you realize as Tez would get up and be like, hey, my shoulder was up, it wasn't a true pin. And then so they would replay the camera, and you saw a little space in between his shoulders. That so there's some controversy with this match that also lets you know this is not over. So this might be our big tag team moneymaker SummerSlam match for 2.0. Or honestly, it's not the second time the babyface will be like the 13th, but this was a stellar match. One of the best matches of the night, if not the best. And these two teams, I should say, really shined. Even though we always give them the flowers of these two being one of the best, and with the Street Profits steadily climbing up there, as they're definitely one of the best tag teams wrestling right now on Raw or SmackDown, but they are slowly becoming a fan favorite of being one of the greatest of all time, potentially legendary. That is. I already know your feelings on the match, but did you like this match? Are you excited to see them go again? Do you think it will be a SummerSlam, or will they try to do a Raw or SmackDown rematch? Maybe with some shenanigans that then go to SummerSlam, or do you think it'll be straight to SummerSlam for these two teams?
All right, so I gotta start giving props to the team I affectionately used to call Crime Time 2.0. Street Profits have definitely start winning my heart, because Tez has always been good to me. I've seen his athleticism, but seeing Dawkins doing some crazy moves this time around was awesome to see. It really, and they do have good tag team moves as well. I do like seeing their tag team moves as well. That's what I like to see, tag team moves, that tag teams actually have tag team moves, not just putting two singles together, people together. I like seeing tag team people doing tag team moves, and that's what we expect from the tag team division, right? Do I see this match continuing, or feud continuing? Yes. Will they throw in Orton and Riddle? I hope not. They probably won't, because I think Orton's really legitimately hurt from what I heard today. So this match is going to be another marquee match. I think they're really going to let the roof fall off the building in SummerSlam, and maybe even steal SummerSlam, which is one of the big 4 reviews. And we already have Roman and Brock to have their official really good match compared to what they had at WrestleMania, where Roman got injured, but yet still won the match. I think these two tag teams could steal the show at SummerSlam, I think they did at Money in the Bank. Maybe throw in a ladder match or something where you put both belts on top, and then that could really elevate this feud to heights that, this can be written and remembered in the annals of time. That these tag teams put on one of the best tag team ladder matches. Maybe not better than the TLC match or whatever with the Dudleys, the Hardys, Edge and Christian, and all that, but they can be up there because they really put on a show this past night. So SummerSlam, I could definitely see it as well. And welcome Halo. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. And now seeing as like I still say like I could see Montez Ford if he was in the Money in the Bank match jumping from he gets real height on that frog splash. He could probably jump up right and grab those belts or in the Money in the Bank briefly it's not anymore, but the belts for the tag team match and they could finally take away the belts at SummerSlam. I can see that happening. And then people are like, oh wow, if they lost, do you think Roman's gonna lose at the end of the evening because he's already gonna be psyched out because his the Usos lost because I can see the Usos losing at SummerSlam to these two guys because they deserve it. I don't know where SummerSlam is. I don't know where these guys are from, but might be Vegas. No, we just had Vegas. Wherever SummerSlam is.
Nashville.
Nashville. Well, that's weird.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think either one of them is in Nashville.
Well, I could still see Street Profits winning there, and then putting doubts into Roman's head. I could still see Roman coming out, but that I think that would be the time. That would be time to do it because off this match they really shined. They didn't really lose technically, so that would be great to watch. So I'm looking forward to this tag team feud going on. All right, that brings us to the next match for the SmackDown Women's Championship, featuring the SmackDown Women's Champion Ronda Rousey against good old Natalya. So this match was. Did we need to have this match? I know, like, we dread covering a Ronda Rousey match. I'm like, I can't have you do it twice, so I'll cover it this time around. Basically, it was a submission match for the most part. They were working on each other. Like, Natalya worked on Ronda's knee. Ronda really just went her normal thing because she doesn't have much that she could do. She has, like, 8 moves, I guess, in her arsenal, so she doesn't have much that she can do. She's going to either put you in an armbar eventually, so work on your shoulder and your arm. She might put you in an ankle lock, so work on your leg. She doesn't really do much, and I think she actually threw in a sharpshooter just to, add insult to injury on Natalya. But basically, they started working on each other, putting submission moves back and forth on each other, working on weakening each other's limbs just so they can get that down. I think Natalya went to the outside and started yelling at the camera person and Pat McAfee. And then she got back into the match, and they just put more submission moves onto each other. It was pretty, like, boring. Like I said, Rousey put the sharpshooter onto Natalya, and then I think her knee was too injured to keep the hold on well, so Natalya was able to reverse it. She tried, Rousey tried to go for a Piper's Pit, wasn't able to do so because of her knee. And then I think Rousey put an armbar onto Natalya, and Natalya tapped. So that was pretty much it for that. And then after that, we saw Natalya, I think, maybe kick Ronda's knee one more time and then leave. So Rousey was kind of like shaken up and stuff, and all of a sudden Liv Morgan's music hits. As I said, might happen earlier in the evening when I texted Alicia. She ran out and said, I'm going to cash in now. Everyone's going crazy and happy, but that craziness and happiness subsides right away because right away, freaking Ronda Rousey puts Liv Morgan into an ankle lock, and everyone goes, oh boy, that's it for Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan was able to, like, turn her body slightly, kick the already injured knee, and then do a quick roll-up and pin Ronda Rousey to win her first ever SmackDown Women's Championship. So congratulations to Liv Morgan, ending up with the SmackDown Women's Championship after that match. Delisha?
Yeah, the actual match between her and Ronda, between Natty and Ronda, went about as much as I thought it would be. It was fine. It wasn't horrible. The best part about this whole thing was happened on SmackDown when Natty was dressed as Ronda, and Ronda said the only way you can get relevant is by dressing up looking like me, and I thought that was just a really good shot.
Right.
Anyway, I just want to be like, Natty, I mean, you're a veteran, but yeah, sorry, you're just not doing it for most of the fans. Maybe it's better. I mean, different at house shows or whatever, but what we're seeing on actual television, not really setting the bar of a anyway. But I was glad when the match was over. I wasn't really paying attention much to this match at all, as maybe I would have done on other occasions. Ronda's, I mean, she's fine. She's not like the worst wrestler in the world, but she's definitely where not where she could be. Maybe she needs the Randy treatment where if she just cared a little bit more to really give it her all. of being an overall package. But we're just beating a dead horse at this point, talking about how we feel about Ronda. Happy for Liv. Like I was saying before, she isn't my favorite. But the crowd is like really behind her, and a lot of the women in the back were really behind her for her win, and I like for her. And now I'm like, okay, well, here's your opportunity. Let's see what you do with it. And but like you also said, her promo last night on Raw wasn't that great, but always room for improvement. And who's to say next few weeks she might be like, you know what? I was wrong about Liv. She just needed that big old. She just needed that push, and maybe I would be wrong about her being just mid tier at best right now.
Yeah, for me, I feel like Rousey's lost that fire that she had when she first came in. Right, she had that fire, like she loved it. She loved the business. She was a big fan of WWE and all that when she was younger. So now that she's like in the WWE, I feel like she's lost that fire, and it feels like she's just going through the motions. She's just there, showing up, collecting a paycheck, and that's about it. She doesn't really have that passion and fire, so something's got to motivate her again. Maybe, like, I can't even say time off because she just had time off for the longest time. So I don't know. She needs another kick in the ass from some other competitor, like a veteran, maybe, like someone like there's no one on. There's no one like the Undertaker on the women's behalf, right? There's no one like that. Natalia's the closest thing, and Natalia couldn't even bring that out of her either. So to me, I feel like there's nothing that no one, she might need someone like the Undertaker to come and be like, listen, you gotta, if Piper was alive still, Piper might be the one to be able to do it, but I don't see anyone who could do it. Maybe a Stephanie McMahon, like, listen, step up, like, you're not gonna, you're not really showing up for us anymore. I don't know.
Or maybe doing a program with Shayna, like who's legit the best fighter, or so to speak, here or I guess they could probably just will be on SmackDown, but they can say who really is the baddest bitch on the planet. I'm sorry, it ain't Ronda yet. Sorry, I know she's really good MMA fighter, really good, really great, but in this WWE run, she is not the baddest.
That
She would not be joining Jade Cargill's baddie section anytime soon.
that brings us to our final match of the evening for the men's Money in the Bank contract, featuring Matt Riddle, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Omos, Sheamus, Sami Zayn, and Madcap Moss. And Delisha will get on to if there's anybody else added, like the definition come true.
Yeah. Right before this match was geared to get started, we get Adam Pearce, the official, non-official, official of Raw and SmackDown, telling us that one of the best things about Vegas is taking more up in the stakes and adding another person to the Money in the Bank match, which turned out to be, to no surprise to Cal, Theory, who is the golden child, so to speak, of one Vincent Kennedy McMahon, unfortunately. But we we added Theory to this match, and you can hear the crowd just groan as soon as he walks out, which was good because that's what his character is supposed to be at this point. He's a heel, so the fact that he is getting all this heat, especially being the favorite of the boss, is supposed to, I guess, to gain ire from the fans, and with um the superstars as well. But whoops, I almost hit the baby in the nose. But yeah, this match was just a bunch of craziness of everyone, of course, trying to get the briefcase. We had Zayn taking a lot of the hits kind of early on from there was some noise and I know what it was, but it was just a cat. So we just had Madcap Moss slamming various ladders into Sammy, and I think it was Madcap that suplex Sammy onto the ladder, and that one looked kind of spicy just because he hit his head, either the back of his head or like the back of his neck. Either way, it looked nasty. That the referee had to like climb the ring just to like quietly ask him if he was okay. And then, of course, everyone's gonna get their spots. We had our Celtic Warrior and Drew McIntyre still continuing their feud. still, as they've been doing the last couple of weeks on SmackDown, as they were each trying to one up each other, trying to get onto um the the ladder. I think it was Drew. I don't remember who he had on the ropes, but giving them the what is it? The 10
10 beats of the battle drum.
yeah, that 10 beats of the battle drum, and then Shane was like, "Dude, no, that's my move." Pushes him away and then starts doing it himself. I just like little notes like that. That was really fun. But of course we have almost our big guy, our Raquel Gonzalez equivalent in size only, not in athleticism. So of course with him being the big guy, we got to figure out a way to get him out. I believe it was, I think it was, I don't know who came up with the idea of like getting almost on top rope and like throwing a bunch of ladders on him. I think it might have been Seth. That sounds like a Seth move. And then the way to finally take him out for a little bit was to everybody pick him up and throw him onto the ring announce table, because when you throw people on there, it takes them out for a while, no matter how many people are doing it, if it's 1 or 10 or 6 other guys in this case. But probably one of the spotlights of the night or of the match was Riddle doing an RKO off the top ladder. I mean, we knew this was coming. That's his guy, of course. So, of course, he's gonna get an RKO. This one wasn't out of nowhere, despite what I think Cole was on commentary had said. I was like, we saw him doing it, so he positioning himself, so it wasn't out of nowhere, so to speak. But nice try. And there really was a spot where we thought Rollins really was going to get it, and that would have been another redemption role. Actually, him and Becky are kind of the same character at this point right now, of them trying to find ways to get them in title contention, but they're doing it like they're the same character, but they're still different, which is kind of interesting. So that would have been interesting to see them both be Money in the Bank winners. Anyway, I digress. But we do. The victory was nearly Riddle, as he was able to toss Seth off the ladder, but no surprise to anyone, Austin does get the briefcase, and he is our Money in the Bank winner of 2022. The match wasn't that bad. I do honestly feel like the women's was a little bit better. I think it flowed a little bit better. And then, like I said at the beginning, like once you saw like Theory get added to the match, you're like, all right, fine. He lost his belt, now he gets the briefcase. So I really wasn't, as invested into who I wanted to win. There was one person we thought, 2 ways to go about it, we thought could win and really progress with some story progression, but apparently that's not in the cards this time around. And given what, Theory said he was going to cash it in whoever won at SummerSlam, but that could just be a red herring. Yeah. Or he could actually come out and be like, you know what, never mind, because depending on if it's Brock or Roman, they probably will just get back up and look at him meanly, and then he'd be like, you know what, never mind about that. I'm going to turn around and try again some other time. Yeah.
That's the way I see it happening.
What about you? What do you think about the match?
Yeah,
Did you?
I agree with you. I think the women's, for the first time ever, was better than the men's. There weren't any spots. I don't think there were any spots except for the one that you mentioned, Omos being thrown onto the announce table by everybody. And I had to disagree with the I think Riddle's best spot was actually like that whisper in the wind that he did off the top of the ladder onto like the entire rest of the match. Like that was the rest of the opponents. That was pretty cool. But I was thinking that was better than the RKO. Welcome, Arrington. How are you? So yeah, the Riddle's the whisper in the wind, or whatever you want to call that move, was awesome off the top of the ladder. And then the Omos thing. That's the only thing I liked. I think the women took more risks and it looked a lot better for the women. I think they did a better job. Austin Theory winning, I thought it was going to happen, because when I told you I have a bad feeling what's going to happen, that's ended up happening. I really wanted Sami Zayn to win, because you heard my whole speech about what should happen. Sami Zayn should win and hold on to the Money in the Bank briefcase, saying, Roman Reigns, I got you, don't worry. And then, them kind of like kissing up to him or sucking up to him and saying, yeah, you're the bloodline, man, you're bloodline, to his face, but then behind his back talking about him, and then him eventually cashing in at WrestleMania after the Rock bottoms Roman, because Roman's going to end up beating the Rock at WrestleMania, but Rock will go for the, hug or handshake, and then Roman's going to be like, no, and then, Rock will rock bottom him, and Sami's able to come out and win, but that's not what's going to happen. I completely agree with you. What's going to happen at SummerSlam? Either Roman or Brock, whoever wins. Hopefully Roman, because I think Brock is just a placeholder for Randy Orton in this case. After they win, like Austin Theory comes, like you think Roman's gonna be injured because like maybe he'll get an F5 after the match is over, and then Austin Theory will come out, and then as soon as Roman pops up again, Austin's gonna, just like you said, Austin's gonna be like, nope, I'm good. He's gonna walk away, kind of like, scratching his head and whistling and walking away. I can see that. I agree with you. I can see that happening. Also, another thing I was talking to Will about today was that which belt do you get? Do you get both, or do you get one? If he does only get one, then I can see him getting the Raw version of it, the WWE Championship, because I feel like right now, Roman Reigns is record-setting that other championship because he's held it for since like the WWE started basically. So I don't know. I don't know, Arrington, to answer your question. I don't know. But yeah, it was a good match. The women's Money in the Bank match was better this year. I still don't understand why someone like a Ricochet is not in one of these matches because he could really flourish. Maybe someone like a Shinsuke also. I probably would have replaced Theory with a Ricochet and maybe Madcap with a Shinsuke. That would have been great. Would have been fun to watch. But we didn't get it because, I don't book matches yet. But that's pretty much it for me. I don't know. Do you have any more lasting things to say about this match, or can we move on to our finishers?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, the other way I thought they could have went with it was Seth winning the briefcase, and we kind of get that similar deal at WrestleMania, or he tries to recreate the magic at WrestleMania or another big pay-per-view against Roman, and based off what Cody said in his promo, he was like, "Yeah, I really hope you win. I'll be the first to congratulate you." And then when Seth finally, if he did win, to have Cody come out and just like ruin the celebration or whatever, just be like, "I'm back, bitches," type of deal. Which is why I thought it might happen at like either cash in at like Mania or Rumble or whatever, or I guess cash in at Rumble, or if Cody comes back in time for Rumble, still have Seth be able to win somehow, and then Cody, attacks him or whatever, and be like, "See you at Mania, where I'll take your title and get it for my family."
Right.
Or something like that. But that was another angle they could have done, but no.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. It's really interesting. This was like a last minute scrap through, so I don't know what they're gonna do with it, but I guess we'll see. I'm not happy, but yeah, Theory is great on the mic. He's a great ring worker as well. I just don't have anything positive or negative. I'm ambivalent towards him at the moment, so we'll see which way I teeter.
Yeah, as with everything, it's just the way he's being booked. He was fine in that U.S. title scene, being at the mid card scene. But yeah, there was a lot of other like really good stories they could have told, without Theory needing to be added to this match. I mean, he literally could have been. They could have done the same thing of him, but literally right away get a rematch because he's the golden boy right now. He didn't have to be put in Money in the Bank, but
Right.
again, it gets the fans talking. There is, even though he, like we said, he called a shot, there is still that mystery of he can still cash in whenever he wants. Because I don't recall anyone really both being cashed in within a month of each other. They usually either, if one goes sooner, they'll prolong the other one. So, then again, this is WWE we're talking about. So,
Yeah. Well, if speaking of the U.S. title, I could see if Bobby Lashley doesn't lose. I mean, he might lose eventually. But if he early, I mean, because he's a placeholder. But if he doesn't lose, I could see him be a good match against Gunther or Walter at some Survivor Series, champion versus champion, right? Because I think
talk about big meaty men slapping meat, man. That's just like,
yeah.
There you go.
All right.
That's a literal hard hitting match with Walter's chops, and it's the spear versus the chop.
That brings us to our final thing of the night, our finishers. Felicia, what was your low point, your high point, your overall grade?
I'm just gonna give the low point just to Ronda v Natty, just because that match didn't move the needle for either one of them. And it was just there. And the high point, it has to, for me, it definitely has to go to the men's tag team match, because that was, to me, that was a 5-star match. and it looks like we might get another one down the line, because of the shenanigans or controversy of that non-true 3 count pin. Overall, great. I think I'm gonna give this one a solid B. Because the only really low ball, unfortunately, were the 2 women's championship matches, and that's really because Bianca Carmella didn't have much to do because it was a prison match, and it's Ronda and Natty, 2 people that really aren't thrilled to see. But overall, I think it was a really good show, especially for me not being that excited. Maybe that's the key. I should just not get excited.
So yeah, set the bar low.
Yeah, instead of the bar, I just put that bar way down there instead of way up here. But yeah, I thought overall B show for them, and I am excited to see as we start to accumulate some storylines leading up to SummerSlam. But I won't keep that excited above a certain level.
Yeah, so for me, I'm spot on with you as well. The low point was probably the Natalia Rousey match. That was stupid. The high point was definitely the tag team match, best match of the night. Also, depending on what they do this SummerSlam, this could be the feud of the year as well as the match of the year as well. We'll see how it goes. So that was definitely the best high point, the men's tag team match. And then I'm going to give it a B+, a little bit higher, because like I said, I had no investment in going to this match, just like you. My bar is probably been lower than yours, so it kind of jumped up, especially with Liv winning, and they said New Jersey a few times, so I got to give a shout out to that as well. So, other than my Sami Zayn thing not working out, it was a good night, I think, for me.
Yeah, and Liv is from the next town over from you, or
yeah, it's like no, not the same town. It's like a few towns over, same county and everything.
Okay.
Same area code and all that. Yep.
You're a local hero now.
Yep. So maybe she brings the title back and go touch it and stuff. She'll come back to the Hooters she worked at. If they announce that, then I'll go and definitely go see her. That'd be cool. So that's only like 5 minutes from my house, so maybe Raj and I can go through and go see her.
Nice.
All right. So, Delisha, where can we find you, and do you have any other news for us?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram and YouTube on Delisha Renee TV. I haven't really been posting much on my YouTube just because of life, and it's just really kind of hard to get content out there the way I want it out there. But if you are following me on my Instagram, I am sharing more. I started to get into Reels now, which they're actually doing pretty good numbers on that too. So I'm not gonna stop YouTube. I do have some things down the pipeline that I am working on. It's just raising this one and trying to shoot stuff and edit is a little bit difficult, and we are hopefully gearing up for a kitchen remodel. So some of the recipe videos are probably either going to be very construed to one pot meals, or we'll just put it on hold until after it's done, and we'll just do a little big reveal type of thing like that. So got some things down in the pipeline up in here. Just gotta put it to camera slash editing bay and then get it out to you guys. But like I said, follow me on Instagram. You get a lot more content that way as well.
Yep, don't forget all her links and all that is down below, so make sure to check it out in the description. As for me, I'm still no game to stream until maybe November, we'll see. Or maybe actually, I should be back in October, hopefully, on the weekends for Spooky Saturday, playing a scary game through those weekends and Saturday. But as for us here on AfterMat, the next time you'll see us is for SummerSlam, which is this month as well, I guess. It's going to be the last Saturday of this month. I do have Roger's brother's birthday party this year during that day, so I won't be able to. I don't think I'll watch it live. So please don't text me, don't message me on Twitter or anything about any spoilers. And we'll have which works out because we have a day between anyway to watch it, for me at least. The SummerSlam will be that Monday. The AfterMat will be that Monday afterwards. So on August 1st will be the SummerSlam covering that. But that's good for me at least because I will be away the actual weekend of 7:30. So please do not message me.
I hope they keep this trend of the big pay-per-views. Keep them on a Saturday. Your C pay-per-views, Fastlane. That's a fine Sunday. A good 3 hours, 2.5, 3 hour show. Keep it short and simple for those. Saturday be your big shows. I enjoy it because I don't have to worry about being to work the next day.
Or just keep it Saturday from now on. Seems to work fine for us, most people.
What?
Your Paul Whites. You said big shows.
The big shows. Thanks, Entertain. Thank you for joining us. So until next time, guys, keep slaying the haters to be the champion of your dreams. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. On we'll go, finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest, echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And